Welcome, folks. I am Jabby Kaway, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
What's up?
We are continuing on with The Sandman. This is episode 6 of season 1, The Sound of Her Wings. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you will see a cut-down version of our reaction because we're only allowed to show you a limited amount of picture-in-picture. However, if you want to watch the whole show with us, no cuts or interruptions, head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/JabbyKaway, or become a member of this YouTube channel so you can watch the whole show with us, no cuts or interruptions, but you will need your own Netflix subscription so you can open up the episodes in an adjacent window to our reaction, and it's like you're watching it with two of your favorite pals from the internet. Now, if you're watching this on Patreon or memberships already, thanks so much for supporting us here. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please, vote this up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. By the by, if you join our Patreon or memberships, you get access to a whole slew of content, a whole library of stuff that we've already gotten up there, stuff that we're not allowed to show on YouTube, watch-alongs to Marvel TV shows, other episodes of The Sandman, Peacemaker.
Classic movies like Alien and Aliens.
There you go.
Yeah.
And all kinds of fun stuff. So please do check that out. ACHARA, for the first time, watched Predator. And that watch along is on there as well. And she's it was a very, very interesting watch. Anyway, here we go.
That's nice bread to be feeding the pigeons with.
Heads up!
Huh.
Come on, Franklin. What are you waiting for?
I'm feeding the pigeons.
You do that too much, you know what you get?
Fat pigeons.
Fat pigeons.
Ah!
I'd had a true quest, a purpose beyond my function, and then suddenly it was over. I felt disappointed.
I can't stay here all day, I've got work to do. You can come with me if you want. Or you can stay here and sulk.
I'll come with you, I suppose.
Well, don't do me any favours.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a big sister to tell you.
You'll see me again.
Seriously?
Soon.
Okay, cool.
What is her thing?
I'm not going to tell you.
And wait, how did you know my...
Figure it out yourself.
Are you playing or not?
Well, her saying that made me wonder if she was like the angel of death or something.
Maybe.
Any word of the prodigal?
No. Still missing. You were both missed. How are you, sis? How have you been keeping? Aw, I'm well dressed.
I'm glad I said the Shema. My old man always said it would guarantee you a place in heaven if you believe in heaven. I look so old, so empty. I'm dead. Now what?
Now's when you find out, Harry.
That's cool. The wings.
All our flight information is on my phone. I just need to give her the code.
I'm so sorry, Sam.
But we're on a honeymoon.
Your time's up.
Sam?
Come on, hon.
That's kind of heartbreaking.
When the last living thing dies, I'll put the chairs on the table, turn out the lights, and lock the universe behind me when I leave. And I'm not there for all of them. There are exceptions. Mad Hetty. I learned that all they really need is a kind word and a friendly face, like they had in the beginning.
Oh no. Oh no.
We can go.
That sounds like a really shitty job.
Yeah.
I thank you, my sister.
That's what family's about, little brother.
That car came like this close to hitting me.
Come with me, Franklin. I need to show you something. See you, Dream. Don't be a stranger, okay?
I think I know who he's going to see.
Huh?
I think I know who he's going to see.
Where's this crow?
Is Raven?
It's Raven, sorry.
Come on, then.
He's so surly.
Did I hear you say you have no intention of ever dying? Let us meet here again, Robert Gatling, in this Tavern of the White Horse in 100 years.
Don't mind me. 100 years' time on this day.
Better remember your appointment.
Why are you here?
I'm here because I'm interested. You live your life as you choose. Then on this day, every 100 years, we will meet.
Because you want to know what it's like.
It's all changing.
In what way?
Chimneys, not having your eyes watering all the time from the smoke. And playing cards.
What will you people think of next?
With any luck, something to get rid of fleas.
So you still want to live?
Oh, yes.
100 years then?
You never told me who you are.
See you in your dreams.
I was working with Billy Caxton. Made some gold from that. Put it to work in Henry Tudor's shipyards. I made a small pile. Then I went north for a year or so, came back as my son. Done that twice now. When Fat Henry done for the monasteries, I bought my estates. And a healthy gift of gold to the crown saw to a knighthood. That's not all. Here.
It's like Camille, not Johnny's character from Eternals.
The god thou servest is thine own appetite, wherein is fixed the love of Beelzebub.
I love his facial expressions.
I saved the best bit for last. The Queen herself slept at my house this summer. That was expensive.
New intrigue.
But men forget in waking hours. I heard you talk, Will. Would you write great plays? Create new dreams to spur the minds of men? Is that your will?
It is.
And let us talk.
Is he jealous?
Who?
This guy.
Hob? No, I don't think so.
Bring on the lamb. Everything to live for, and nowhere to go but up.
Do not be so free and say.
I love the transitions.
I lost it all. My land, my gold, my Eleanor. She died in childbirth. The baby too.
Wow.
I've hated every second of the last 80 years. Every bloody second, you know that. Death is a mug's game. I've got so much to live for.
A mugs game?
Yeah,
What's that mean?
like someone stupid. That's cool.
I suggest you find yourself a different line of business, Robert Gatling.
You're giving me advice after 400 years. What happened to live your life as you choose?
The choice is yours. Would you take that choice away from others?
True.
I will consider your advice. 400 years now I've been meeting you here, and there is so much I still don't know. Who are you, truly? What's your name?
I might ask both of you that same question.
Ah!
Please, please.
I was wondering if it was her.
2 years passed, sewn into the shirt of a dead man. I found this.
Is that meant to be me? I look terrible. You look worse.
I can see there is so much you can tell me, so much I can learn.
No, I think not.
Yeah, good luck.
What did you do to her?
She has old ghosts that I've shown to her.
He's like, shit, what are you?
I don't suppose you care to find another pub tonight?
She may have told others about our meeting. It will not be safe for you.
I'm perfectly safe. I can't die.
Exactly.
You must be cautious.
100 years then.
100 years.
Besties.
How'd you like to buy a girl a drain of pail and maybe a quick bum dance? Give us an hard ride with your cream stick.
I think not.
I bet you ain't got it in you anyway, you skinny chickaleary.
Okay.
Is that what they call her?
Well, in here they call her the hospital.
Oh.
Because she's in them a great deal, and because she sent so many men into them. No idea what her real name is.
Louise Bald. Her father was in the British Army. Her cousin raped, impregnated, and deserted her when she was just a child.
Wow.
Oh,
How do you know all that?
jeez.
Why we still meet here century after century? It's not because you want to see whether or not I'm ready to seek death. I don't think I'll ever seek death. I think you're here for something else. Friendship. I think you're lonely.
Is that when he gets up and walks out?
Then I shall take my leave of you and prove you wrong.
Uh-oh. 500 years, one fight. That's not too bad. It's pretty good going.
I'll be here in 100 years' time. If you're here then too, it'll be because we're friends. No other reason. Fuck.
Oh my god. God, can you imagine, like, witnessing this progression?
Yeah.
When they can make more of the gold, this takes work. Government's going to have, I'm telling you.
It's the same argument as well.
Mind if I...
I'm actually waiting for someone.
Same joke as well.
This is one of my favorite songs of all time. Look at that phone. Oh my goodness, the 80s.
You have to be
Is he gonna
well
get
off
up?
to get one of those phones.
It's like right when he's about to leave. That's when Dream shows up.
What's the oldest you got?
Well, I've got a Glen Grant, old enough to be your father.
Doubtful.
This place has been sold to make room for new flats. The borough council are trying to stop them, but if you've got enough money in this country, you can do whatever you bloody want. Pour you another one? While you wait?
Please.
Like, what do you do if it's not a pub anymore?
Well, he's gonna buy it and live there.
Yeah, he was trapped at that time. I was like, he spent the 80s trapped in that thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
He missed his meeting.
Yeah. Unless it's... Oh no, that's right, 1989. It's not like it's 2089.
Sees him. He's always doing his work at the bar.
Frenzies.
My brother has found a way out of his cage. My plan has failed.
Oh, what?
But don't worry. I have a new one.
Desire is diabolical. That's how they call the siblings.
This was a very different episode from the previous ones, but then again, the more I suppose there were 3 episodes that felt quite similar, which was episodes 2, 3, 4 episodes. Like there was like this sort of narrative that was carrying through.
Yeah.
Episode 1 was kind of like this. It was just this like kind of montage of time, except this one was much greater, spanning 5 centuries.
Mm-hmm.
The previous episode was just dealing with what's his name, John G or something.
Oh, John D.
John D.
Yeah.
And his adventure inside the Denny's and how he affected the world from a diner.
Yeah.
And so this was a kind of a fascinating look at the passage of time and how things change and whatnot, and how one individual, typically, as I understand it, because I'm not as familiar with the vampire stuff as this one over here, typically, with the vampire stories, you sort of resent everlasting life, and it's this, you lose friends, you lose lovers, and all this stuff along the way, and so it's like, it's not as cool as it seemed like it would be initially, but this guy was living his best life in much the same way I imagine I would, because if I was offered this, I'd be like, hell yeah, let's take it to the max. Even when you are struggling and you're down to your last 2 pennies and the last 80 years have been a bitch and a half, you're still like, no, I'm gonna keep this fucker going. Like I am excited to see what comes next, and good thing he did, because you saw like how through his ebbs and flows of life, he still came out the other side, with some very, very, very fun adventures and blossoming moments and light and
and
beauty
and darkness
and
too. And I
yeah.
mean that's the whole thing, isn't it? But I think it's kind of a look into humanity, into the human experience.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting thing about Rob Gadling is that no matter what happens, he's still optimistic about life. He's still hungry for more, which is a surprise to Dream because he doesn't get it. It's like he's so intricately involved in the lives of people in their dreaming lives, but like his sister Death said, he doesn't really understand people. And for me, I really loved all the stuff in the beginning with Death and just watching her go throughout her day, her job as the angel of death, as it were, and, collecting people along the way. And I really like her character because as people, we want to hold on to life, right? And we're so scared of death, even though Dream is like, I don't get it. It's an inevitability. It's like you're born and then you die, right?
Yeah.
And he talks about her gift that she brings to them. But a lot of the time, people don't really see that as a gift. And it was just kind of interesting to see her go about and visit these different people. And I loved the way that she approached them all with love and compassion. Yeah, which is
empathy.
Like, it's a really nice way to think about death personified. Like it's not something evil. It's just it's
a beautiful black woman.
A warm embrace, saying like, hey, your time is up. Although watching the baby go, I was just like,
it's heartbreaking.
Oh gosh.
No, but they did choose a beautiful woman to portray Death.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness, new crush. Yeah, I thought she was pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie. That aside, the story was sort of like almost 2 halves in a way, right? Because the first half was with the Angel of Death, and the second half is the adventures through time with his buddy, I guess.
Yeah, which it was just kind of like showing how he kind of needed that friendship too. They both needed each other over time. time. Like, it became a relationship that was really important to them because they knew that no matter what, they would see each other at this appointed time every 100 years. And then they kind of grew to like each other.
It's a little bit interesting to me that Dream doesn't really understand humans because his whole thing is dreams.
Yeah.
And you're inside the psyche of all humans. But it dawned on me a moment ago that I had this very crazy dream once, and I'm not going to get into the details of it because it's too private, but I conveyed it to a friend of mine at the time, and he's like, you're trying to make sense of dreams when dreams are just random data in your brain. There's no consequence, there's no morals, there's no right or wrong in dreams. It's literally just data working itself out in your head like a computer, right? It's not really meant to be anything meaningful. It's just stuff that's happening.
Right.
And if you look at it from that perspective, then maybe someone who controls and dictates dreams might be just as confused and perplexed by why humans do what they do when all they're doing is working with random bits of data that they're just like manipulating all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know if I really helped myself just now or anyone else in that for that matter. It's just a little bit strange that someone who dictates the most intimate thing that you might experience and have with you, save for the stuff in your deep subconscious that you're not even like aware of.
Yeah.
I think the dreams is the closest. It's like that bridge between you and your deepest subconscious.
Sure.
You know, and it's like that's very intimate sometimes. He has access to all of that, and yet he's confused and perplexed about humanity. That's weird.
It seems like he's almost a watcher. You know, he's just kind of observing, whereas Death very intimately deals with people. You know, it's like she said, she goes there and she holds their hand and she's their friend, walking them to the other realm, right? And so she gets that chance to really be close to them, whereas he's just kind of watching their dreams and seeing what's up and kind of being the lord of the dream space, as it were. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe he should be more invested in people. Maybe he ought to know more because dreams are the gateway to our subconscious, right? And sometimes they reflect our deepest desires and shames and whatnot.
But this episode was admittedly strange, though. I mean, while it was a neat adventure, I did wonder, like, okay, and the moral of the story is, usually there's like a point, unless this is just sort of a bridge, like a stopgap, but as we're going on, these episodes are just kind of bizarre. Or there was someone who left a comment about Neil Gaiman, and it wasn't the most positive comment. It was half positive. It was like, his stories are this, I wish I could remember who left this comment, and I apologize, that I don't remember your name, but it was something to the effect of, and I'm going to paraphrase, that Neil Gaiman creates these very, very interesting premises, right? It is these interesting ideas. And then oftentimes at the end of it, you're sort of left with this weird, dissatisfied feeling of it being incomplete because they were responding to something I had said or a feeling I had expressed. And that's sort of like what you constantly get with Neil Gaiman. And it's where you're like, well, what was the point of that? And you're just sort of left with a confused feeling of like, that was interesting, but I'm not really left content or satisfied.
Well, I think for me, the experience was fulfilling. Like, it's very, I guess, experiential. I enjoyed the stuff going through with Death and kind of changing the perspective on the character, right? Or the idea being that it's not always something to be feared. She could just be...
Well, it's usurping your expectation of what the Angel of Death would be.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Although I've always kind of imagined Death as this benevolent being, because even though it's an end, it doesn't mean that it's over, it's like end in this realm for now, but you're moving on to the next one. And I liked that kind of magical feel of going through her daily life and coming across these different people, and like I said, of her compassionately leading them on to the next part of their journey. And I find that comforting for me.
Sure.
And then the stuff with Rob Gadling at the pub, I mean, that's an interesting notion in itself, of this great experiment of at what point would someone ask for death? Like how resilient is the human spirit? How long are we willing to go? How much despair or happiness do we have to see in our life until we're full and we go, you know what, I think I'm ready to leave this plane. I feel like perhaps this character is a very interesting person because he has no fill. He's always willing to carry on even when he was at the lowest low and he lost everything. He still wanted to keep on living.
It seems slightly odd to me that he wasn't more powerful than he was in terms of society. Because if you have someone that lives that long, surely they are able to accumulate massive amounts of wealth.
He did in the first 200 years.
Yeah, but then where was it in the last? He basically would be richer than Bill Gates and Warren Buffett combined. I would imagine if you're living that long and you're able to accumulate that much wealth, you're able to buy that much land over time and own everything in sight, over time. That's a stupid little nitpick that doesn't really matter in terms of the point of this episode. It's just a thought that crossed my mind just now.
I think as we're going along with the show and the episodes, it's just kind of more an interesting experience to see these little stories come to life, little vignettes. Like, I also enjoyed how dream affects our lives in the waking world, like his relationship with Will Shakespeare. I don't know if they'll explore that story.
No, they won't.
In this episode. I mean, not in this episode, in this season, but there is like a whole thing with him. But it's...
Oh, it just seemed to me that was wrapped up right there. Okay,
yeah.
Maybe it could come back. It flashes back.
Maybe not. But like, it is interesting kind of seeing the effect that his like little interferences with people have had over time, and this notion of like, oh, maybe William Shakespeare was inspired by Dream. Like, maybe Dream told him a bunch of these really cool stories that he wrote down and made into these amazing plays. Because, I mean, if you go back through history, I think it was Kit Marlowe who he was talking to in the bar, right?
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be a much better playwright than William Shakespeare, but he got murdered. And so he never got to live up to his full potential.
Right.
And so it's just this interesting kind of side story and like a what if this had actually happened, and it's just kind of fun to think about.
Going back to what you were saying a second ago regarding death, and well, I guess you weren't saying it specifically, but more the show was that death has a better understanding of humanity than Dream does. I don't know if I can I'm just accepting it on the basis the show told me to accept it. When I think about it, it doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense to me that Dream does not have a far deeper understanding of humans than Death does, because she is having the same experience over and over and over again with everybody. Now, of course, it's going to be slightly different because everyone's a different person, etc., but it's still for the most part, it's fundamentally the same. People are freaking out a little bit, and then they have to accept it right away because she is giving them the empathy they need to cross over to the other side, right?
Right.
But it's just sort of on repeat. We even see it in this episode. Dream is literally experiencing everyone intimately, anybody, all of them. And so why wouldn't he have a better understanding of human beings?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure exactly why, but just going off of like the portrayal of the character of Death and the character of Dream in this, Death is so excited and enamored with the human experience. She wants to try the food. She has the apple. She tells Dream, hey, have a drink. It tastes like crap, but drink it anyway. Like, she's really optimistic and excited about learning and experiencing what it is to be human. Whereas Dream always has this, I mean, I love the look, but he has this look of like disdain, and he's always like looking down his nose.
To me, it looked like he smelled a fart.
Yeah, a little bit like that, you know, like he's just like, I'm too good for you, but I'm curious.
Like he's above them. But
yeah,
what you said is consistent insofar as Death was trying the food, the apple, which is also a symbol of sin.
Very Christian symbolism
the fruit of knowledge. But and there was an opportunity for Dream to eat in the pub, second or third time that he met with Dude.
Yeah, he never does.
Yeah, he never ate anything, and he never drank anything either. But like at some point, I mean, if he's friends and he wants the human experience, then maybe he would.
Maybe he would, or maybe it's just because like the realm that he exists in it's not physical.
That's true. You guys, thanks so much for hanging with us. Hopefully you enjoyed some of this. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon, please, all notifications, and vote this up. I'm Jabby Kouei. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.